Hey everyone, welcome back to the AI Tech channel. Today we're diving into a huge controversy that's shaking up the music industry and the entire creative world. Imagine a future where AI can just take your work, your songs, your stories, your art, and use it without paying you a dime. Sounds like a nightmare, right? Well, that's exactly what music legends Elton John and Simon Cowell are fighting against right now. They're leading the charge against proposed copyright law changes in the UK that they say could devastate the creative sector. But is this a genuine threat to artists, or just fear-mongering? Let's break it down. Okay, so here's the deal. The UK government is considering relaxing copyright rules to allow tech companies to use creative material for AI training without explicit permission from the creators. The idea is that this will boost AI innovation, but Elton John, Simon Cowell, and many other artists are furious. They argue that this effectively allows tech giants to steal their work and profit from it without compensation. They're backing a campaign pushing for an opt-in system, where AI companies need to get permission before using copyrighted material, rather than forcing artists to opt out. Elton John has been incredibly vocal about this. He said that the UK's creative sector is the envy of the world, but that success has been built on strong copyright protection. He fears that these proposed changes would destroy that leadership and give it all away for nothing. He's not just talking about himself here. He's worried about the future of the entire industry, especially for artists just starting out. He's worried about people being able to make a living in the music industry at all. Simon Cowell is equally passionate. He argues that it's just plain wrong for anyone to think they have the right to take someone's creative ideas without paying for them. He says that AI shouldn't be able to steal the talent of the humans who created the magic in the first place. He's really hitting home on the core principle of rewarding creativity and protecting intellectual property. He is concerned that artists will be wiped out if AI isn't regulated properly. That's a pretty stark warning. Let's talk about the legal side for a second. Currently, copyright law protects original works of authorship, including literary, dramatic, musical, and certain other intellectual works. This gives creators exclusive rights to control how their work is used, including reproduction, distribution, and adaptation. The government's proposed changes would carve out an exception for AI training, allowing companies to use copyrighted material without permission, as long as the creators have the option to opt out. This is where the controversy lies. This touches upon the core principles of fair use and transformative use, which are already complex legal areas. The devil is really in the details of how these exceptions are defined and enforced. To understand why this is such a big deal, you need to know how AI models are trained. They require massive amounts of data, text, images, audio, video, to learn patterns and generate new content. This data often includes copyrighted material. For example, an AI music generator might be trained on thousands of songs by different artists. The AI learns from these songs and can then create new music that sounds similar. The question is this fair use? Are the AI companies simply using the data to learn, or are they directly copying and profiting from the original artist's work? This is where things get very murky. The creative sector is a huge part of the UK economy, worth over £126 billion. Elton John and Simon Cowell argue that these copyright changes could jeopardize that entire sector, leading to job losses and reduced innovation. They're not just protecting their own interests, they're worried about the broader economic impact. If artists can't make a living from their work, they'll stop creating, and that will hurt the entire country. It's an investment into the future of British culture and economy, not just a handout to artists. The proposed opt-out system is a major point of contention. Artists argue that it puts the burden on them to constantly monitor how their work is being used and to actively opt out of AI training programs. This is time-consuming, expensive, and practically impossible for many artists, especially those who are just starting out. They believe that an opt-in system is much fairer, as it requires AI companies to get permission before using copyrighted material. This shifts the burden to the companies, who have the resources to track down and compensate creators. Now, let's look at the other side of the argument. The AI industry claims that these copyright changes are necessary to foster innovation and keep the UK competitive in the global AI race. They argue that requiring permission for every piece of copyrighted material would be too burdensome and would stifle AI development. They also point out that AI can create new opportunities for artists, such as tools for music production and distribution. The central argument is that AI can augment human creativity, not replace it. But is this just a convenient excuse to exploit artists' work? This all boils down to the concept of fair use. In copyright law, fair use allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission for purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. The AI industry argues that training AI models falls under fair use, as it's a transformative use of the data. However, artists argue that training AI models is not transformative, as it directly copies and profits from their work. This is a complex legal issue with no easy answers. The courts will likely have to weigh in to determine the boundaries of fair use in the age of AI. We're seeing an explosion of generative AI tools that can create everything from music and art to text and code. These tools are becoming increasingly sophisticated, and they're raising serious questions about copyright, originality, and the value of human creativity. Can an AI-generated song be copyrighted? Who owns the rights to an AI-generated image? These are the questions that lawmakers and courts are grappling with right now. The answers will have a profound impact on the future of the creative industries. Elton John and Simon Cowell aren't the only ones worried about this. Earlier this year, Billie Eilish, Stevie Wonder, and hundreds of other artists signed an open letter demanding protections for artists' rights against exploitative AI practices. They're concerned that AI could be used to create deep fakes, generate unauthorized copies of their work, and ultimately undermine their livelihoods. This isn't just about money. It's about protecting their artistic integrity and ensuring that they have control over their own creations. Of course, not everyone is against AI. Some artists, like Daniel Bedingfield, believe that AI has tremendous potential for the future of the music industry. He argues that AI can be a powerful tool for creativity, allowing artists to experiment with new sounds and techniques. He sees AI as a collaborator, not a competitor. But even those who are optimistic about AI acknowledge that it needs to be regulated to protect artists' rights. So, what's the UK government's response to all of this? They're currently holding a public consultation on the proposed copyright changes. They say they're listening to all sides of the argument and will carefully consider the potential impact on the creative sector. However, many artists are skeptical, and they fear that the government is more interested in appeasing the tech industry than protecting their rights. The consultation period is wrapping up soon, so we'll have to wait and see what the government decides to do. Even some members of the government are critical of the proposed changes. Damian Collins, a conservative MP and former chair of the DCMS committee, has openly questioned why AI developers should be allowed to steal from artists without compensation. His comments reflect the growing unease within the government about the potential consequences of these copyright changes. It's clear that there's a real divide on this issue, even within the ruling party. Copyright is the foundation of the creative industries. It gives artists the incentive to create and the ability to make a living from their work. If we weaken copyright protection, we risk stifling creativity and innovation. We need to find a way to balance the interests of the AI industry with the rights of artists. This isn't an easy task, but it's essential for the future of the creative sector. We need to make sure we have a system that properly incentivizes artists to keep creating. The debate over AI and copyright is just beginning. As AI technology continues to evolve, we're going to see even more complex legal and ethical challenges. We need to have a serious conversation about the future of creativity in the age of AI. How do we protect artists' rights while also fostering innovation? How do we ensure that AI is used to augment human creativity, not replace it? These are the questions we need to be asking ourselves. The future of creativity depends on it. From a technical perspective, much of the AI in question relies on convolutional neural networks, CNNs, and similar architectures. These networks, while powerful, are essentially pattern-matching machines. They learn by identifying patterns in vast datasets. The concern is that these patterns are often derived directly from copyrighted works, effectively creating a derivative work without permission. This raises questions about the originality of AI-generated content and whether it infringes on existing copyrights. This also connects to the concept of style transfer, where an AI can mimic the style of a particular artist, raising further ethical and legal questions. Another key technology at play is generative adversarial networks, or GANs. These networks pit two AIs against each other, one that generates content and one that tries to distinguish it from real content. This adversarial process allows GANs to create incredibly realistic and convincing fake images, videos, and audio. The problem is that GANs are often trained on copyrighted material, raising concerns about the legality of the generated content. It's difficult to determine the precise source of the training data and whether it infringes on existing copyrights. We need better transparency and accountability in the development and deployment of GANs. Finally, let's talk about transformer networks, which are the foundation of many large language models, like GPT-3. These networks are incredibly powerful at generating human-like text, but they're also trained on massive datasets of text and code, much of which is copyrighted. The potential for copyright infringement is enormous. These models can be used to create derivative works, generate unauthorized copies of existing content, and even impersonate authors. We need to develop new methods for detecting and preventing copyright infringement in the context of transformer networks. Researcher Jürgen Schmid-Huber has done extensive work on the topic of AI and creativity, particularly in the context of recurrent neural networks. His work highlights the potential for AI to be genuinely creative, but also underscores the importance of protecting intellectual property rights. In his paper, Creativity and Artificial Intelligence, a survey, he argues that AI should be used to augment human creativity, not replace it. He emphasizes the need for ethical guidelines and legal frameworks to govern the use of AI in creative fields. He also argues that AI can help us understand the nature of creativity itself by allowing us to explore different creative possibilities and test different hypotheses. This research highlights the need for a balanced approach to AI and creativity, one that fosters innovation while also protecting the rights of artists and creators. Schmid-Huber, J. 2006. Creativity and Artificial Intelligence, a survey. Artificial Intelligence, 137, 1-2, 25-45. Let's dive deeper into the argument for AI in the creative process. Some argue that AI is simply a tool, like a paintbrush or a musical instrument. It's up to the artist to use it creatively. They believe that AI can democratize creativity, allowing anyone to create professional quality art, music, and writing. Furthermore, they argue that AI can help artists overcome creative blocks and explore new ideas. For example, an AI could generate hundreds of different variations of a song melody, allowing the artist to choose the best one. They say that ultimately, human creativity is still essential, and AI is just a way to enhance it. AI is a catalyst, not a replacement. On the other hand, the argument against AI centers on the idea that true creativity requires human emotion, experience, and intention. They argue that AI-generated art, while technically impressive, lacks the soul and meaning of human-created art. They also worry that AI could devalue human creativity, making it harder for artists to make a living. If anyone can create professional quality art with a few clicks, what's the value of years of training and practice? This argument emphasizes the intrinsic value of human creativity and the importance of protecting it from being commodified by AI. So, how can we tell if AI is truly creative or just mimicking existing styles? One verifiable method is to test AI-generated art on audiences who are unfamiliar with the AI's training data. If these audiences can consistently distinguish AI-generated art from human-created art, then it suggests that AI is not simply copying existing styles. Another method is to analyze the AI's output for novelty and originality. Does the AI create something that is genuinely new and unexpected, or does it simply recombine existing elements? These methods can help us assess the true creative potential of AI and determine whether it's truly pushing the boundaries of art. Ultimately, the key to navigating this complex issue is regulation. We need to establish clear rules and guidelines for the use of AI in creative fields. These rules should protect artists' rights, promote innovation, and ensure that AI is used in a responsible and ethical way. This could involve things like requiring AI companies to obtain permission before using copyrighted material, establishing a system for compensating artists for the use of their work, and creating standards for transparency and accountability in AI development. Regulation is crucial to ensuring that AI benefits everyone, not just the tech giants. So, where does all of this leave us? The future of AI and creativity is still unwritten. It's up to us to shape that future in a way that benefits both artists and innovators. We need to have a serious conversation about the ethical and legal implications of AI, and we need to develop policies that protect artists' rights and promote innovation. The decisions we make today will have a profound impact on the creative industries for generations to come. This is a conversation that everyone needs to be a part of. What do you think? Should AI companies be required to get permission before using copyrighted material? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the AI Tech channel for more updates on the latest AI news and trends. Thanks for watching.